What's up, guys? ACCardShark back with another episode of Brick and Mortar Mondays. I haven't had a chance to make a lot of these lately, just lack of time and everything else. I can't get out to the stores as much. So I had some extra time, so I decided to hit up a couple stores I hadn't hit in a long time. Like, I'm always going to the Game Gallery, and I'm always going to to Lucky Fun Time when they were around. Nothing against them. I mean, I just wanted to hit something different and something I haven't hit in a while. So I decided to head west from Bethlehem, and I went out to Allentown. First stop I made was called the Video Game Store. Literally, that's what it's called, the Video Game Store in Allentown on Hamilton Street, if you guys are local. Always have a good time there. The prices are really good. If you remember back like a year to 2 years ago, whenever the last time I was there, that's where I picked up my Vectrex, and I got it for like a really good price. Nothing has changed. They still have a really good selection, and their prices are still really fair. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to go down to downtown Allentown. Parking is a mess and everything else. So if you can put up with that kind of stuff and just find a spot on the street with the parking meters, I definitely recommend going there. Ended up picking up 5 games from there. Mostly Super Nintendo, which is really strange. But the first game I picked up was in the glass case. They just had a stack of Super Nintendo games. I saw 2 games that just looked like they would be interesting. They were $3 a piece, regardless of what the title was. The first one I picked up, I think I want to say it's a movie game, which means it's probably bad. But for $3, I'll try it out. The game is called Cutthroat Island. For the Super Nintendo, there's a spine there, Cutthroat Island. For $3, it's a pirate type game. I'll give it a shot. If not, whatever, I'll just trade it in or sell it or whatever. The second one I picked up looked really awesome. I've never heard of it before, and again for $3. But it is called Jim Power: The Lost Dimension in 3D. Longest title ever. But there's your label there, and then there's your spine. Jim Power: The Lost Dimension in 3D. I have no idea if it's any good. They both came up on my app as $5 games, and they were $3 a piece. So I was like, you know what? That works for me. And then on the top shelf of the glass case, they have individual games. They're a little bit, I guess, not really rare. I hate to use the title too loosely, but we'll say harder to come by, a little bit more expensive, whatever you want to call it. Again, never heard of this game before. It was $8, and I believe the app had it at $8. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. It sounds cool. It's called Young Merlin. And again, guys, if you've played any of these games and you've had experience with them, let me know what you thought. I mean, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. But Young Merlin for the Super Nintendo, paid $8, worth $8, so that's awesome. And then a pure classic. I don't have this in my collection yet for whatever reason, but that is The Illusion of Gaia. Pretty much a must-have if you have a Super Nintendo. I believe the app had this valued in the $20 to $25 range. And I got it for $15, so really good deal on Illusion of Gaia for $15 in really good shape. And then the one Nintendo game I picked up for the NES was just one I didn't have. It was marked $8, and the app had it at $8. I needed it. I picked it up. But it's Exodus Ultimate Exodus or Exodus Ultimate. I don't remember how you actually say it. But there's your spine right there. If it will clear, there you go. Just what I needed for the collection. Nothing. It's not really rare, nothing like that. But it was on the top shelf, outside of like the stacks of Nintendo games, which was all common stuff, all stuff I had. But those 5 games, picked up those 5 games. I think it was like $30 altogether for those 5 games. Not a bad deal at all. So again, a really good trip down there. They had some other ones I wanted to pick up. Beautiful Joe 2 for the GameCube for $5, complete in its case. For some reason, I just didn't pick it up. I wanted to go more retro than the GameCube at least. And they had Half-Life 2, which they had it for the Xbox. I'm not sure if I forget what system I had it for, so I didn't want to pick it up in case I already had it. And then they had Indigo Prophecy for the Xbox, which I have it for the PS2. But again, it's just not, it was like $4 I think for both of those. So nothing crazy or rare. I was hoping to find some Vectrex games because I only have about 2 or 3 for my Vectrex, but they didn't have any. So it is what it is. But I did end up picking up some good stuff. From there, I ended up going over to Planet Games. And Planet Games, I absolutely love that store. I walked in, and as soon as I walked in, the guy who owns the place, David, immediately was just like, hey, I saw your video about our store and everything else. And like, he recognized me immediately from being on YouTube. And apparently customers came in and told him about my video about his place, which is awesome. I love when, I just went there to look for games. I love when you get that little bit of notoriety, like someone saw you on YouTube, and that's awesome because it means my videos are reaching you guys. And I just sit here in my basement, in my game room, and I just make these videos. And the fact that people watch them, enjoy them, and then recommend them to other people, it's just awesome to me. It blows my mind. So, we just started talking right off the bat, and, it has been so long since I had seen him and been to Planet Games. So I asked him, what was going on, what he had in stock, everything else. Basically he had all the cases open so I could go through everything, and ended up picking up 5 games from there as well. Couple of commons and a couple harder to come by. So this time it was more NES and less Super Nintendo, but that's the only 2 systems I bought for today. But for the Super Nintendo, the only game I did pick up, I only have this as part of like the Xbox 360 double pack on the arcade, but that game is Magic Sword for Super Nintendo. That came with Final Fight Double Impact, if you remember when they released that on the 360. But really awesome deal. I think it was like 12 or 13 bucks for Magic Sword. Usually you see that going for a lot more on eBay, and I'd rather, even if it went for the same price, I'd rather give my money to a local store than to eBay or anything else. So, but that's the only Super Nintendo game I picked up. Along the lines of another common pickup, it's one of those, like you can see the reflection coming off me, Camerica, those shiny cartridges. Just one I didn't have. He happened to just look through his stuff in the back. I guess that hadn't made it out to the shelves yet, and he found this and asked me if I had it, and I didn't. So that game is MiG-29, Soviet Fighter. It's a plane fighting game, whatever you want to call it, and it is one of those Camerica cartridges, which does have the dip switches built into it, and just one I need for the collection. And I believe that one was like, I want to say 10 bucks, which I believe is right around what it's worth. And then going through the shelves, I found this one on the shelf, and I feel was a really good price, and that's why I didn't even think twice. I just picked it up and got it. And it's one I needed. The label on the front is great. The spine, it looks like it was lifting up, and it was basically someone scotch taped it down. But you know what? On the shelf, you'll still be able to read it, and that's what's important to me. But that game is Dragon Warrior 3. Now, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see, it's a little bit bubbled up, and you can tell somebody, scotch taped it. But again, on the shelf, you're going to be able to read what game that is. And the front label, the artwork is intact and beautiful. So I'm like, you know what? For the price, it was $25. The app had it at, oh God, I want to say it was like, I don't know, $50 or something like that. But again, it was probably marked down because of the spine being what it is and everything else. I'm not that picky. I'm picky, but not that picky. But for $25, absolutely, I'm going to pick that up. So when he saw me pick up Dragon Warrior 3, he's like, hey, do you need Dragon Warrior 2? Ironically enough, I do. And I think I only have Dragon Warrior 1, I want to say. So I picked up 3. He actually went in the back and found Dragon Warrior 2 for me. And because I bought what I bought, he actually gave this to me for $15, which is a steal of a deal. I can't turn it down. And that's why I like going there, because he rewards you for continuing to shop with him and to spend money. I like that kind of stuff. I like rewards programs, so to speak. That's why if I buy the newer stuff, it's at Best Buy, because I get money back, so to speak. And that's what I like about this place. I mean, they have a lot of selection. Their prices are fair, and they always have something I need for the collection. So again, guys, if you're in the Emmaus, Pennsylvania area, please either Google or on Facebook, look up Planet Games, and please stop by and give them your business, because it's an awesome store, and I really do love going there. I got to go more often than I do. But Dragon Warrior 2, the spine, as you can see, is in good shape. No tape, no nothing. Really good shape for 15 bucks. And then the last game I picked up, I was back and forth about this one because of the amount of money it is, or that it was, I should say. It was priced exactly where it should be. It wasn't overpriced, nothing like that. It was just I didn't know if I wanted to spend as much as I did, but I couldn't turn it down. I found it in the wild, and it came with a black sleeve, and just from what I hear, and I've played emulations, just an amazing game. That game is Metal Storm for the NES, and there's spine looking really good. Just a great addition to my collection. I'm really stoked about that. This game was marked at $60, and it's a $60 game. I mean, by far, you look it up on eBay, you try to get it cheaper anywhere else, you're really not going to find it. And finding it in the wild and have it priced correctly, just absolutely love it. Quick backstory. I actually was at the, which was one of the flea markets. What was it? Zern's Farmer's Market. And they have one video game guy there, and I always call them the they basically they overprice everything. I can't think of what I have a term for them that Mindy actually, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's the like the price gougers or something like that, and they actually had Dragon Warrior 2 and Dragon Warrior 3 in their case, and I was just like, oh my god, I need these. So I asked him, like, how much do you want for them? He wanted $75 for Dragon Warrior 3. He wanted $75 for Dragon Warrior 2. $150 for these two games. I paid $25 and $15. I paid $40 for both. That's why I tell you, shop around. You know, look for your deals. If it's overpriced just because you found it doesn't mean you have to buy it. You know, hold off. You'll find it eventually. I know it's not satisfying that in that very moment to not get it, but at the very least, you're saving yourself money in the long run. So, you know, if I teach you guys anything about collecting or about buying old retro games, don't buy it because you found it. You know, you always want to do your research, always know what you're looking at and how much you should be paying for them, and don't overpay because you'll go broke. And that's how, you know, you end up building collections, is because you're saving money. For all that money that you saved, you can put into other games and get 10 games for the price of 2, and etc. So anyway, guys, that was my Planet Games pickup. Again, please, video game store in Allentown, Planet Games in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. Both stellar places. Both have awesome guys working there and owning the places. They take pride in what they have, and they price things fairly because they want you to come back, and it works because I've gone back. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Brick and Mortar Mondays. Those are my 10 games I picked up over the 2 different places. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, big shout out to David and Planet Games. Again, thank you for the warm welcome back, and I, you know, truly appreciate, you know, you hooking me up and everything, and you know, helping me find games I need and everything. So really, really awesome. That's gonna do it, guys. Till next time, ACCardShark. Take care.